April 16, 2025. Mental health is real. Seek help, end the stigma. On the news this afternoon. Rivers State government denies summoning Governor Fubara for inquiry. Former Governor Obi asks President Tinubu to end France trip. Address insecurity. EFCC says it warned Nigerians against Ponzi schemes, probes CBEX scam. On the foreign scene, UK Supreme Court backs biological definition of woman. I'm Ifechukwu Moyele with the news. Now, the Rivers State government has debunked a viral statement claiming that the state sole administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, has summoned suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy for an inquiry. An official of the state government told our correspondent that the statement is fake, saying no such directive was issued. The statement, which circulated on social media, falsely claimed that Governor Fubara and his deputy, Dr. Ngozi Odu, were to appear before the state administrator over appointments made in the last 2 years. Meanwhile, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike says the suspended governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, has not apologized to him to consider forgiving him. According to him, for there to be forgiveness, the person who did wrong must first acknowledge it and seek forgiveness. The minister, speaking through his media aide, Lere Olayinka, was reacting to the call by Niger Delta former militant leader, government Ekpemu Polo, alias Tompolo, who called on him to forgive Fubara, his estranged political godson. Tompolo, while speaking on the River State crisis in a statement recently, emphasized the need for restraint and unity and urged Wike to set aside his anger for the greater good. Moving on now, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has reminded River State sole administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, that by the provision of the 1999 Constitution as amended, he must report to the National Assembly in running the affairs of the state. The Speaker said this on Tuesday while inaugurating the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on River State. He urged the 21-member committee to be guided by objectivity, warning that no room exists for bias and partisanship. He said the sole administrator is required to operate with the highest levels of transparency and accountability. Recall that on 18th March 2025, President Bola Tinubu declared a 6-month emergency rule in River State following the political crisis between the state governor, Siminalayi Fubara, and the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike. In the meantime, the River State government is insisting that the 300 million naira given to the Nigerian Bar Association NBA was for hosting rights of the NBA Annual General Conference and not a gift, as claimed. Now, recall that the NBA, while reacting to the refund demands of the state government, said that the money was a gift. But a statement by the SSA Media River State government, Hector Iwikiowubo, insists that records show that the 300 million naira payment for the NBA was made with a mutual understanding that River State would host the 2025 edition of the NBA AGC. The statement said the River State government entered into the agreement with the NBA in good faith, with the understanding that hosting the conference in the state would attract significant economic benefits to River State, positively and directly impact the businesses of Rivers people. He described the NBA's decision to move the event to Enugu and withhold the funds as a breach of trust, warning that legal steps will be taken if the money is not refunded. Despite this, the River State government says it's still open to partnership with the NBA and other professional bodies as long as they are built on fairness and respect. Meanwhile, a financial expert, Professor Barisua Wine, says the relocation of the annual general conference of the Nigerian Bar Association NBA to Enugu does not only affect the tax-generated income of River State government, but small and medium-scale enterprises. Wine, a professor of finance and banking, told our correspondent that petty traders who would have gained patronages from participants of the conference in Port Harcourt are now at loss.
all commercial activities that will be incidental to the activities of the participants of the MBA conference, hoteliers, the woman selling bole, the transporter, the suya man, petty traders are adversely affected with the shift. The incomes of these various economic units would have improved, and that will be improvement in the taxes to be remitted to the state government.
Professor Wine also said meet and greet sessions and contacts that may be beneficial to some residents of the state are equally lost. He, however, maintained that the situation would not drive away potential investments.
Business contacts, a meet and greet working relationship. In course of discussion, several other areas of business interest might have been lost with the shifting of that conference from Port Harcourt. The MBA only relocated the venue on grounds of perceived principles of constitutional democracy. I don't think that for any potential investor it would really drive them, because there had been before and after the declaration of the state of emergency, the peace that the state had enjoyed.
Now, in the same vein, a hospitality and tourism expert, Dr. Eugene Ndu, says hotels and recreational centers risk shutting down if events and conferences are frequently cancelled due to happenings in River State. Speaking in an interview with our correspondent, Ndu said refunds of reservations earlier made for hotel accommodation, event halls, and tourism facilities may affect salaries and operational cost.
If we lose conferences coming into the state, it sends a signal. It may discourage investors from coming in. It may discourage future events and conferences from coming in. And when this happens, hoteliers will lose the revenue they're expecting. With loss of revenue, operational costs may be higher than they can manage, and they may want to downsize. And when they downsize, it affects livelihood, it affects the population, it affects the revenue that government is supposed to generate. Because for every employee, remember, there's personal income tax and then corporate tax. So when you lose at the corporate level and lose at the private level, internally generated revenue is reduced.
In another development, the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt dismissed a suit filed by the Labour Party challenging the legitimacy of 27 lawmakers in the River State House of Assembly who were alleged to have defected from the PDP to the APC. The court ruled that it lacked jurisdiction, citing a binding Supreme Court judgment that had already resolved the matter. The Labour Party had sought to have the lawmakers' seats declared vacant, arguing that their defection violated the 1999 Constitution. Justice Emmanuel Obili confirmed that the Supreme Court's ruling on February 28, 2025 settled the issue and could not be reopened. The court emphasized that lower courts must adhere to the Supreme Court's decisions as outlined in Section 287, subsection 1 of the Constitution. Now, coming up next, EFCC says it warned Nigerians against Ponzi schemes, probes CBEX scam. Stay with us.
For 2025 NLNG Post-Primary Scholarship Scheme, NLNG
Back and now the rest of the news. Former presidential candidate Peter Obi has urged President Bola Tinubu to end his 2-week working visit to France and return to Nigeria to address the growing insecurity. Obi, in a post on his X handle on Wednesday, criticized the president's absence amid a surge in killings, abductions, and renewed insurgency across the country, especially in Plateau, Benue, Zamfara, and Borno State. He described Tinubu as a retreating CEO and questioned the relevance of holding a strategic retreat abroad while citizens face violence at home. The former Anambra State governor stressed that the government's top priority should be protecting its people. Elsewhere, Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang has announced new security measures, including a ban on night grazing, restriction of cattle transport after 7 p.m., and limited motorcycle use between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. These actions follow recent deadly attacks in Bassa and Bokos, which the governor described as part of a deliberate campaign to destabilize communities. He vowed to strengthen community-based security, activate local vigilante groups, and establish a fact-finding committee and peace envoy to address the violence, emphasizing resilience and unity. Mutfwang assured residents that his administration will protect lives and ensure Plateau State prevails. Now, suspected herdsmen on Tuesday evening attacked the Otobi community in the Aba district of the Otubo local government area in Benue State. 7 persons were confirmed killed, while unspecified persons were wounded, with many houses burned. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Wetoku, says those responsible for the killings in Bassa local government area of Plateau State will be surprised. 51 persons were killed on Monday in the Zike community of the local government area, with houses razed and many displaced about 2 weeks after a similar attack led to the killing of scores of persons in Bokos local government area. And now to health matters. Primary health care workers in River State have threatened to shut down health care services across all local government areas in the state. Speaking on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire, the chairperson of the Medical and Health Workers Union, River State Council, Bapakaye Glory, shared concerns about how local government council authorities have failed to implement the consolidated structure approved by the suspended governor, Siminalayi Fubara.
Haven't seen what these people are actually doing. Their body language is they are not ready. They come together, took the decision by themselves, flaunting the directives of the government and not to implement the primary health care issue. You don't expect an hungry man to be working. Well, our demands are not being met. We will have no choice than to withdraw our services from the 23 local government areas. We are saying no, enough is enough. I will not go on this again. For now, the health workers, when our 7 days osmosis has expired, we will withdraw our services. Then, if they deem it fit to become health workers, they should go ahead and do it.
Glory also raised concerns about delayed promotions and the non-payment of arrears owed to health workers, while other local government staff were promoted and paid.
Concentration of the local government council authorities who are negligent about the involvement of our health workers. These health workers in the primary health care have been up and doing. In the normal traditional payments that they did, you see that our healthcare workers in the primary health care sector, their promotions are still pending, arrears are there, it has not been implemented. While other local government staff, they conducted promotion, they implemented their promotion, they paid their arrears, the health workers were not paid. No structure is being recognized. All what they do is illegal structure.
In education, as schools in River State close for the second term academic session, an educationist, Ikechi Nwogu, has advised performers over enrolling their children in expensive schools for the sake of bragging rights. Speaking in an interview with correspondent Martha Okere, Nwogu said it is unjustifiable to spend large sums of school fees if the child cannot compete effectively at the national level.
We in Nigeria, we have this strong "I better pass my neighbor" mentality. So some parents just want to take their children to places where school fees are high, just for the sake of bragging and entertaining their friends. I spend this much. But for the sensible ones, we look out for results, because it's actually meaningless for you to pay, like some schools charge as high as 3 million naira, and they can't even come up tops nationally. I mean, when it gets to the ranking stage, they can't come up top.
Dr. Nwogu said that some high-profile schools fail to equip students with the independence and resilience needed to succeed, as many rely on internal mechanisms to help students pass exams rather than preparing them for real-life challenges.
I've seen a lot of these schools that concern themselves more with pairing the exams. You have a smart child sit against a not so smart child so we can collaborate. We can help ourselves. They have some of them pay so much to the examining bodies, the WAEC officials and all that, just to ensure that, we can get them to do anything. So in some of these schools, you have children who have sorted the exam bodies, sit in a special hall where they're allowed to do anything because, of course, their fathers can afford it. And then these ones who acquire proper learning will become the biggest beneficiaries of the future.
In other news, the federal government has declared Friday 18th and Monday 21st April as public holidays to mark the celebrations of Good Friday and Easter Monday. The Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, in a statement, extended heartfelt congratulations to Christians across the country. In business, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, says it warned Nigerians against falling for Ponzi schemes. It comes as outrage grows over the alleged 1.3 trillion naira fraud linked to the digital investment platform Crypto Bank Exchange, CBEX. EFCC spokesperson Dele Oyewale, while speaking on Channels Television today, said the commission actively educated the public on the risks of fraudulent investment schemes before the CBEX collapse. Oyewale clarified that CBEX is a Chinese-owned digital trading company operating solely online with no verifiable physical presence in Nigeria. He said the EFCC cannot be blamed for the situation. The EFCC has now launched a comprehensive investigation into an alleged 1.3 trillion naira cryptocurrency fraud. He said it is collaborating with the International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, to trace local and international suspects involved in the scam. Also in business, Nigeria has reportedly cut electricity sales to junta-ruled Niger Republic to 46 megawatts from 80 megawatts. The cuts represent a 42% reduction in power supply to the country. Niger's energy minister, Haoua Amadu, said the measure has led the country's electricity production to fall by 30 to 50% and forced state-owned power company Nigalek to impose planned power cuts that can last several days, especially in Niamey. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, said headline inflation rate rose by 4.4% point to 24.23% in March from 23.18% in February 2025. The Bureau disclosed this in its Consumer Price Index report for March 2025, released today. In entertainment, a Lagos High Court on April 15 struck out the defamation suit filed by Femi Falana and his son, Folari, popularly known as Falz, against internet personality Martins Ose, popularly known as Very Dark Man, VDM. The 1 billion naira suit stemmed from a video VDM posted in September 2024, alleging that Falanas collected 10 million naira from Bobrisky to obstruct justice. And now to sports. Super Eagles midfielder Raphael Onyedika's market value has risen to 20 million euros, up from 16 million euros in late 2024, following his strong performances this season. Former Belgian league coach Hein Vahezenbroek believes Club Brugge will find it difficult to keep Onyedika despite their intentions to retain him.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
The UK Supreme Court has ruled that the legal definition of a woman is based on biological sex. The decision follows a legal battle between the Scottish Government and the advocacy group for Women Scotland. While the Scottish Government argued that transgender women with a gender recognition certificate GRC should be entitled to sex-based protections, the court sided with the group's view that such protections apply only to those born female. The judges emphasized that the rule is not a victory for one side, but affirmed that transgender people still have protection against discrimination.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. Rivers State government has denied summoning Governor Fubara for an inquiry. Former Governor Obi has asked President Tinubu to end his France trip and address insecurity. The EFCC says it warned Nigerians against Ponzi scheme and is now probing the CBEX scam. On the foreign scene, you heard the UK Supreme Court has backed the biological definition of a woman. The news was edited by Martha Okere. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Moyele. Many thanks for listening.